I'm hoping this table doesn't snap. This is plastic. I want to focus on 10 games I wish I could play more often. I'm going to tell you about them. And hey, maybe there's something here that you have. It's going to inspire you to bring it to the table again. Or maybe you want to check it out yourself. You let me know in the comments, please, if you enjoy any of these games or if any of them interest you. Howdy and welcome back. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude, and this is Board Games for One. This video idea is actually inspired by Rolling Solo, so be sure to check out his channel. I'll put a link to the video here if possible. I always try to do it. And in the description, where he went over 10 games that he wished he could play more often. Now, he focused largely on campaign games, so I thought, let me mix it up and do something a little different. We're going to do no campaign games, though I love campaign games. Believe me, I could fill this up with it. But there are a lot of Euro-style, family games, survival games, all kinds of things that don't have campaigns that I would love to play more, and I'm sure you would too. So we're going to focus on those 10 games. All right, let's go. Let's go to the first game that I wish I could play more often right here in front of you. Oh my wow. Here we go. Robinson Crusoe, Adventures on the Cursed Island. So this is the base game. There are several expansions designed by Ignacy Shevicek and artwork by somebody. It's going to be on the screen. This runs, I'm assuming, around $60. It's been a little while, so I'm going to say $40 to $60 depending where you get it. It's a 1 to 4 player cooperative survival game. Plays best at 1 player. I mean, you can play it at 2 players too. Actually, 2 players is nice. I've enjoyed that cooperatively, but also solo. It has a solo mode where you manage only 1 hand, if you prefer that. If you prefer to play 2-handed or 3-handed or 4-handed solo, you have that option as well. But the basic idea is this is a scenario-based game of 6 scenarios where you play as one of 4, unless you do multi-handed, characters that have asymmetric abilities like a cook and carpenter and something else and something else. But anyway, you play a scenario, including a tutorial scenario that gets you started, where you are crash landing on this island and you're trying to survive. So you're battling the elements, you're trying to survive the weather, you are trying to build shelters, you are trying to survive attacks from locals and from animals, and you're hunting and you're gathering materials to upgrade your fort and all. There's all kinds of survival stuff going on, and each scenario is a different story, different theme. You don't have to play them in order. You can play them in any order. You can play them repeatedly. This game is hard. You may survive the tutorial. You're probably going to die most of the time on everything else, but it's possible. The instruction booklet is a nightmare upon nightmares upon nightmares. I mean, it's really well done. It's just so long and so much reading. It's old style. We don't do that anymore. So watch yourself a how to play video, or go on to, they actually have an app where it has the instructions, the Portal Games app, where, yeah, it's on there. I can't vouch for it, but I've heard it's much better. All right, next game. Ta-da! All right, we got the Scarlet Pimpernel here. Scarlet Pimpernel, designed by Brian Kelly, artwork by Ian O'Toole. You can see the artwork is absolutely lovely. So this is based on the book, The Scarlet Pimpernel, and also an awesome movie with, I forget her name, somebody who's super cool. She's amazing. She played Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, whoever she is. But anyway, the Scarlet Pimpernel. So this is Euro-style game. This is a 1 to 4 player, if I remember correctly. 2 to 6 players, excuse me. That's why I checked the box. 2 to 6 players, 60 to 90 minutes, sounds right. So I've played it at 2 player, but it also has a fan-made solo that I have played, and that's why I'm featuring it. I try to stay away from featuring too many fan-made solos, but this is a good quality one. This is a rambunctious, fun little game where you win by placing cubes on spaces, basically to gain points. So, what you are is you are a team supporting the Scarlet Pimpernel, who is trying to get the Dauphin of France out of France or into France or something. He's trying to save his life, basically, is what you're trying to do. So you're helping him. So you're these secret agents completing missions. I believe there's 5 missions per game. And once there is a cube or a completed mission, once the 5th one's done, then the game ends. Scoring goes by not just the missions completed, but where you placed your cubes on different actions as you travel around this board of Western Europe. When you play solo, you are doing kind of a beat your own score, and there is a dude, an investigator dude, that runs around and kind of gets in your way. I enjoyed it. I wish I could play this so much more. It's beautiful to look at. It's just rambunctious fun. It's rambunctious fun. So yeah, Scarlet Pimpernel, Eagle Gryphon Games. And next, Pulp Detective by Todd Snyder. I think artwork and everything. Although the artwork is done by other artists, it's like old pulp artwork. I don't recommend this for people who are new to solo play. Like if you're looking for a solo game, don't pick this up, okay? This is a fantastic game. I love it if you have other games. So this is solo only, though I believe there is a 2-player variant. I haven't played it. I can't vouch for it. It is it's not currently available in print. Can I speak? Maybe. Stutter. But you can go on Tabletopia and you can play a few games of this for free, right? There's like 2 or 3 scenarios, I believe, for free. I have the whole collection, so I have the base game and 3 expansions. This is not actually a crime-solving game. This is a game where you are laying out cards to create a story, and in that process, capture a villain who's doing something terrible. You gain items that you can use, and there is a story that can kind of be told, but really it's card placement. So, Pulp Detective, you can see the pictures on the screen. It's beautiful. If you like pulp art, it's good fun. Try it on Tabletopia. If you can find it, grab it. Alright, next! Oh yeah, prices. Scarlet Pimpernel, I believe for me was around $40, so we're going to say $30 to $50, depending where you get it. Pulp Detective, since it's out of print currently, don't know. I have no idea. I got mine off of Noble Knight Games, so check them out. I'm sure on eBay it's probably a whole lot more. There is something called Pulp, or is it Space Pulp, something like that. Whatever it is, it's Pulp Detective, but it's the 1960s space theme. Space Invaders, something like that by Todd Snyder. Check it out. Pulp Invasion! Pulp Invasion. Just in case I didn't snap. See how that magic works? It's amazing. Alright, okay. World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, a pandemic system game by Zmon Games. I don't think they ever put the designers on there or the artists. It's a team of people. Of the pandemic games, this is personally my favorite, and it's probably just because of the artwork, but also the solo mode is a one-handed solo mode. They do it justice. So, this is like Pandemic, where you are playing in the World of Warcraft world. You play as one of the heroes. Each hero has their own special ability, nothing too complicated. I would call this a gateway game, family weight, nothing too crazy, though it does have scalable difficulty, so you can make it a little more advanced. But you take your character around and you are fighting off hordes of creatures while also trying to complete missions. You have to complete so many missions to get to the final mission where you have a showdown against the Lich King, which is basically just another mission, and you complete that, and fantastic, you've won the game. So you do this by collecting cards, playing those cards with their powers, making sure that the board does not get overrun by the horde, because if it does, that's how you lose the game. World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, it runs about $60, $65. That's a lot. The miniatures are cool, the artwork's cool. Next! Star Trek Expeditions by Rainer Knizia. Artwork is from the movie, so look, it's not the best artwork in the world. Miniatures are fine. Board is so-so. I love this game. I love this game. Cooperative, 1 to 4 players. I don't know if it's still in print. I got it from Noble Knight Games. I should just get a sponsorship from Noble Knight Games. But I believe I got it for around $30, $35. Again, I don't know what it runs when it's not regularly in print, and it's not super easy to find, but it's not impossible. Alright, WizKids publishes it. But what this is, you are playing the crew of the Enterprise from the newer trilogy. You know, the new crew with whoever that dude is. I don't know these people's names. Chris Pine. There you go. And Cool Lady and Spock and all them. Anyway, you play them where you are beaming down onto this planet and you are moving your character around to complete missions and collect items and resources to help you. But you've also got a Klingon attack going on in space in the Enterprise. So you have to beam back up to the Enterprise or make sure that one of the characters is in the Enterprise, because you can play with just one character or 2 or 3 or 4. You can do multi-handed, whatever. As many hands as you want. Scales the difficulty based on how many you use. Anyway, you beam back up and you gotta fight off the Klingon ship in space, and then you got to beam back down and go to the planet. So you've got these two tensions going on. It's very hard to balance both. It's possible to win. It's not impossible, but it can be quite challenging. Star Trek Expeditions. Next. Red Rising from Jamie Stegmaier. Stonemaier Games. Alright, Red, why am I standing like this? Why not? It's fun. Okay. Anyway, this is 1, 2, how many players? I always forget the multiplayer count because I so rarely do that. Where's your multiplayer? There you go. 1 to 6 players, wow. But there's actually 8 different houses. Anyway, Red Rising, it's based on the novels. You don't have to read the novels. You don't have to know the IP. This is a leg workout. Stay in here. Anyway, this is a hand management game. You are collecting cards in your hand of different colors, of the 8 different colors that represent 8 different houses. Each of the houses, has a specialty which you can choose to specialize in that house based on your hand or on multiple houses. The point is to play these cards on top of each other onto a shared board. So whether you're playing solo or multiplayer, it is competitive because the solo it's a Atoma factory because it's Stonemaier Games and it is top notch. It's a great intro actually to the Atoma system that Stonemaier uses if you want to play something a little more advanced later like Scythe, something like that. Hello. Okay. Anyway, you play the cards in order to do these chain combos to gain resources, place resources in different areas, and gain the most points and influence of whatever house you choose. Red being like the lowest tier of the houses, but they have special abilities, so you can still win with it, and gold, of course, being like the most prestigious. Red Rising, Stonemaier Games, I need to move. Heroes Crossing. But before we do that, if you're enjoying this, please, by all means, give me a like so that I know this is something you want to see more of. It helps me understand what you want from me so we can make this channel grow. And also be sure to subscribe. Do plenty of lists like this, do live playthroughs. Sometimes I get to play some 2-player games as well to show some solo games that also play well as family games. Alright, Heroes Crossing, what's this all about? This is more of an indie publisher game designed by Brian Sowers. This is cool. This is 8-bit art to 16-bit. I think it goes up to 32-bit. It's actually pretty cool. So what it is you are playing as villagers in a town where the heroes walk through and they go to buy their gear in order to go to battle. So you're actually playing as the villagers, think like Stardew Valley style things. But this is also if you like those old style RPGs from the 80s and the 90s, but that are making a big comeback now on Steam. But what's cool is you get to upgrade your shops, right? So when you start out, it's an 8-bit shop with 8-bit art. When it upgrades, it's 16-bit art. And when it upgrades again, it's like 32-bit art. I thought that was a super cool feature. It is 1 to 4 players, and it is a competitive game where you are placing tiles in order to expand your little village to attract the most heroes. And there are different heroes that are on display every round that you are trying to attract with your wares. The person with the best wares that matches the different heroes attracts them, is able to sell stuff, and you end up gaining points. Person with the most points wins. The solo mode is very good. It's a little too easy, so I had to tweak it to make it just a little more challenging. So that should know there's no scalable difficulty. I would say it's normal difficulty, but if you want to advance it a little bit, you have to do your own tweaks. That's the only downside to this. I would have liked to see a little more attention to the solo mode, but I love it so much I don't care. I would just love to play this so much more. It's from a North Carolina publisher. Maybe you can play it for me. Alright, next! Speaking of heroes, Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Bear with the ridiculousness. All the pieces just fell down because the lid isn't on tight. This is probably, I probably should have done this last. I'm hoping this table doesn't snap. This is plastic. But anyway, Batman The Dark Knight Returns the game. This is a solo game with a 2-player variant. I haven't played the 2-player variant to tell you. I don't have a desire to, but it's cool that it's there. Anyway, this is a 3-scenario game where you have 3 different scenarios of scaling difficulty where you play as Batman and his friends from the Dark Knight Returns comic. It actually follows the storyline. You've got the Robin Girl and Two-Face and everybody in there, right? And you got all the different Batmobiles and Batcopters and all the different things. Okay. Anyway, 3 different scenarios going from tutorial through a more advanced play, where you are working to accomplish a mission. This is difficult because thugs keep getting dropped all over the place, If they overrun the city, you lose. So you gotta go around, beat the thugs, collect clues to reveal the villain, find the villain, actually beat the villain. When you engage in combat, it is a dice rolling game. This is ridiculous. It is a dice rolling game, and the dice some people have issues with because they're shaped like batarangs. I think it's pretty cool thematically. They don't roll as fun as regular dice, but if you roll them just like sideways, it works just fine. So I'm totally cool with them. But if you're kind of a stickler with dice and you like the regular ones, you know, your regular six-sided, then that might be annoying for you. Annoying enough that you might not enjoy it. We'll see. But anyway, you're able to upgrade your skills and abilities by doing training, by going around the board and completing different objectives in order to complete your training. So you basically are leveling up. You can play the scenarios in order, which is actually how it's recommended. So you can save the game. The save system is not the most intuitive. It's not the easiest. I don't know how they could have done it much better. You do get to draw on the board with a little marker, which is a lot of fun. So you are altering the board, creating new paths and changing things as you go through the game. So in that way, it's a somewhat pseudo legacy, but it's not permanent changes. You can replay at any point. I adore this game. I adore this game. I adore this game. It's about $60 for this version. Then there's like a deluxe version. I don't have that. I'm happy enough with this. Cardboard standees, fine with me. Next game, Juicy Fruits. Juicy Fruits, you didn't know you were signing up for senior pictures, is Christian Store. Christian Store. I bought this at Target, actually. It's not there now. I'm not sure where it is now. It was about $35, maybe up to $40. So we're going to say $30 to $40, depending where you get it. The art is not that beautiful. It is bright though, but it's very old Euro-y style art. But it's kind of an old Euro-y style game where you are collecting, it's a set collection pretty much, and you're filling out orders where you are collecting fruits on an island and delivering them to boats. And the most fruits in the boats, or to create like fruit stands, and you get these fruit stands, you gain points. Whoever has the most points wins. It's a competitive game with a solo mode. It is a 2,000 player, 1 to 4 player, pretty standard family weight game. But I would say the instruction booklet, though it's helpful, it's not like a tutorial quick start kind of guide. I would use a how to play video and then use the instructions as a resource. Rolls are pretty simple. You end up sliding little square things. I'm afraid to let go of the support of the table, it might collapse. You are sliding these little tiles around in order to create like a shuffleboard puzzle to collect the different fruits and collect the different points. Solo mode is actually like an Atoma or an AI, it's not Atoma Factory. It is an AI bot that is also collecting points and getting in your way. Quite a challenge actually, and it has its own set of instructions. So you're looking for a challenge, scalable difficulty, it's got all that. Juicy Fruits. Next. Finally, Omicron Protocol. I got this at PAX Unplugged last year. I think Lunar Rush is the big game, I hope that's the right name, is their big game that just came through Kickstarter, but this is the one that caught my eye. This is a skirmish game by Brendan Kendrick and Bernie Lynn, both as two super nice guys. They were super cool to me. 1 to 4 players, and this cost around $60, so I'm gonna say 60 to 75 probably, depending where you get it. I'm pretty sure it was $60 to $90 depending where you get it. It's got some nice little miniatures that you'll see in the overlay pictures here. Again, skirmish game, so you are playing this competitively against other players, or you are playing against an intelligent AI. What I like most about this is it has a tutorial book, and it's a good tutorial book. It really walks you through how to play the game step by step. It's a lot to learn. There's a lot to manage in this game. If you're not interested in a skirmish style where you're in this cyborg futuristic world where you are a gang of people fighting against these cybernetic attackers and other gangs, other players, other AI bot, then that wouldn't interest you. You have an objective for one of any 10 missions, each with their own difficulty level. You can play as different characters, of course, with their own asymmetric special abilities that you can use. The tutorial takes you through the basics, a step at a time, and then you get to the next tutorial, and then you get to learning how to play solo. So you're going to be investing time learning this, but I'm telling you the tutorial is fantastic. It's an enjoyable experience to learn the game. Omicron Protocol. That takes us to the end of our ridiculous journey of 10 games I wish I could play more often. How about you? Which of these 10 games would you like to pull off your shelf and play? Or maybe go to the game store if you got a game cafe, play it for free. I'm a big fan of that. Or you may want to pick it up yourself. Again, check it out new. Check out Noble Knight Games. I know there's Miniature Market, all kinds of places you can check out. I love you all. I'll see you next time.